And one of Mike's questions has already been answered. Does somebody want to help set him up there? One of Mike's questions has already been answered. If Darby Allin would come in with his face painted, and he has.
Well, I saw Darby Allin yesterday on the mound at the Rangers game, and he looked exactly the same right now. I didn't know.
Yeah, I didn't shower last night. I just kept the face on. Let's just just keep it on. Maybe everyone would ask me, like, you should just get your face tattooed like this.
Oh my gosh.
Just commit to it. You never have to paint your face again.
Do you have sons or daughters?
No.
Because that might be a little bit scary if you do, and then they are like, Daddy kind of looks skeleton-y on one side of his face.
Maybe they just grow up thinking that's the normal, and they're okay with it.
And they're scared of us.
Yeah, they're scared of us.
Oh, I would like that. It's like, where's your skeleton part of your face? That is a great point. Now, you were in town, obviously, yesterday. Big announcement about All In Texas next year at Globe Life Field, home of for now, the defending world champion Texas Rangers. I know it's been in London, and y'all still have the event coming up in London really quick, but how cool is it to be able to have All In here in America, and specifically here in Texas?
It's surreal, because I've been with the company since day one, and the company's been around for 6 years, so be there on the ground level, this wasn't established. Nothing was guaranteed with AEW. We fought for this.
Yeah.
And to be there at Globe Life, July 12th, 2025, it's wild.
Yeah.
It's so wild. I don't think about it last year, all-time attendance record for a pro wrestling event.
Yep.
5 years in, AEW, that's what we do. We put our souls and everything out there, and I think the fans really see what we fight for. And then they're just as much of it as we are. This is a
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Amazing partnership that we have with the city and with the fans. What we've been doing with the residency lately.
The esports arena.
You feel the energy in that place.
And by the way, tomorrow, one more at the esports arena in Arlington, AEWTix.com, if you want to go to Collision tomorrow.
Yeah, it's been amazing. It's been an amazing run, and I cannot wait for the energy of what's going to happen on July 12th, 2025.
Now, this is probably self-explanatory, but I would still like you to explain it nonetheless. At this All In, you have a Coffin match coming up for the TNT title. People might think I made that up. Will you explain to them what exactly that will look like?
So a coffin match, essentially, only ends when you put your opponent in the coffin and you close the lid, which is very fitting, very, very fitting for what kind of match I'm going to have this year against who I'm having it against. So Jack Perry is a guy who's been with AEW since the beginning, just like me, but his road there was so much easier than mine. He's been friends with the Elite, which run the company, and they were only, with Jack, it was only a speed dial call away from getting hired here. He didn't really have to sacrifice anything. He was in wrestling for, maybe 5 years, but he's only done a few independents in California. Didn't really have to fight for much to get here. And we're a guy like me, I didn't even know if I was gonna make it to AEW.
Yeah.
I was begging to make it to AEW, and I finally got here, and I'm like, dude, it was hard. It was hard. It was hard. So somebody who got here so easy and didn't really have to sacrifice much is that's what I think Wembley this year. It's fighting someone who puts in the work against someone who's complacent and lazy. That's what I'm fighting for.
We've had Jack Perry on the show, but you're here now.
Did you have him as Jack Perry, or did you have him as Jungle Boy?
That was when he was Jungle Boy.
Yeah, that's the thing I always saw. Because AEW is you can be yourself. AEW is a place where you can be yourself. And I said, in pro wrestling, I'm either gonna make it as Darby, or I'm gonna fail as Darby, but I'm not changing a thing. And then I hear AEW signed Jungle Boy. I'm like, who the hell is Jungle Boy? That's what you do with your creative freedom, is your Tarzan? What is this? Come on, no one buys that. So, he's actually Jack Perry now, which I've said before is pro wrestlers they're the best when they're themselves turned up to 10.
Yep.
And now he's himself, which is a child. Because he takes everything for granted. Think of it, dude. He never shows up to work. He's the TNT champion.
Yeah.
Think about it. He's the TNT champion, and how often has he been at the residency?
Mm-mm.
He hasn't.
Yeah.
Mm-mm.
He hasn't.
Yeah.
Like, that's what a champion does. Like, come on, man. Like, let's put this whole thing, the Coffin match. Like, and everybody's like, why is it a Coffin match? Well, why so extreme? I set the guy on fire.
Yeah.
Like, we've already.
There's no turning back.
Yeah, come on, man.
What
Where are we
place
gonna
to go with this?
We're gonna go to Wembley and we're gonna lock up and have a good old match? No, man. I've already set the guy on fire. We've had this bloody cage match. Like, there's only one place to go from there, and that's a Coffin match. Like, that's the end all be all. I don't want a whole year feud with Jack. I want to end it at Wembley.
Am I allowed to joke but don't use real glass? Right? Like, am I allowed to make that joke since y'all are going back?
Oh,
to
I
Wembley?
used real glass in the Sting.
Okay.
In the Sting match.
Yeah.
In the Sting match, I used real glass.
Okay.
Like, that was real glass. I got the gnarly scar to prove it. Looks like Harry Potter's forehead scar.
But that's one you love. That's a scar you love, right?
oh
For
yeah,
that for that match. For
yeah,
that kind
yeah.
of
No, man, you
Sting.
come on, Sting's last match. You can't be playing with fake glass. Like, come on.
And Punk's not there to yell at you about it.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
that's good. That's good. Can you tell us about that experience with not just that
Yeah.
last match, but rolling down the road with Sting? Because Sting's from around, or he lives around here, and he's been on our show before.
Waxahachie native.
Yes, that's right. He's awesome. What was that experience?
So easy to talk
of,
to, man.
He
So
really
awesome to talk
is.
So you say that.
to. For us, whenever we got a chance.
You say that, and that's why I love the guy so much.
Okay,
Yeah.
Is like, outside of the ring, he's the most humble, chill dude ever. Everybody asked me, like, what's the one thing you've taken away from your time with Sting? And I was like, to stay grounded and humble, and don't let this wrestling 15-minute fame ride. You know, because like once it's all over, you have to like look at yourself in the mirror and like know who you are. And a lot of people let it consume them, and then they like the wrestling world like chews them up and spits them out, and they look in the mirror like, I don't even know who I am anymore.
Yeah.
I have no idea. He can look at himself and be like, I know exactly who I am. He's so humble and chill and just grateful for everything. So to be there with that energy and like to be a part of the last match of this guy's iconic career, it was insane. That's why I was like, we need to pull out all the stops. Like, we gotta pull out glass. we gotta do something gnarly.
Okay. All right.
Like-
So our producer Reggie in there right now. Today's his last show. He's heading down to Houston. He's going down to Houston to host his own midday show. Should we pull the glass out or Viking
Oh my
funeral?
gosh.
How should we do this for him?
I
today?
think he needs to take a shot.
Okay. Yeah, that's
Reggie, would you like to take a chop?
Would I like to? Probably
Yeah.
not. If we're being honest.
But will you take a chop? I guess then the question becomes, that feels like that'd be a tough sell.
okay. All right.
You should just say you want Corey to take the chop for you then.
Yeah, that sounds excellent.
Oh, all right.
All right, let's do it. Yeah, you just let me know when.
All right, excellent.
Or don't.
Yeah, like no, but it's always cool when you get to be a part of somebody's like finale, because you know his career started before I was born.
Yeah.
That's
I was like,
crazy.
this is wild, dude. It's like,
He used to team with the Ultimate Warrior and all kinds of crazy stuff going.
yeah, he's
going
literally
back in the
done it
day.
all in pro wrestling, like
Yeah.
everything.
Yeah.
Is that the biggest pop you've experienced? Can you describe the biggest pop that you've experienced when you get into the ring, when you walk out, that you're like, oh man, I can almost taste it right now?
That was it.
That is?
With Sting's like retirement match, because I made my entrance first and I sat at the bottom of the ramp and we watched his video package, kind of telling the fans, reminding them of how iconic of a career he's had. This video package plays, then his music hits, and then like just to feel that, like I was just like taking it all in. I was like, oh man, this is insane. It was incredible. Like, I don't know, just that whole day was surreal. Like, I'm normally like really like calm and cool throughout the day, and Sting like asked me, he's like, man, you seem like really like uptight today. Like, you don't seem like yourself. I'm like, I wonder why. It's your last match.
Yeah.
You only get one shot at this. And if we go out there and like we crap the bed, everybody's going to be like, yeah, he had a nice career and everything, but that last match is like, we have to fire on all cylinders here. We have to hit a home run. That's why I jumped off the ladder through the glass. Like, you have to put everything out there. And that's like, you know, and he, at the end of the night, he comes up to me. He's like, Darby, that was easily the top 3 favorite matches I had my whole career.
Wow.
And that's what we do it for, man. You know, so he doesn't have to live with, That last match. Oh, it was a nice career and everything, but that was kind of.
What's the worst last match you feel like from like a legend? Because he's a super huge wrestling fan. So is there one where you're like, I love this guy, but the last match wasn't my favorite?
I mean, there's an entire documentary about The Undertaker chasing another last match because his WrestleMania match against Roman Reigns did not go the way that he wanted. And he stuck around for 3 more years trying to correct that. So I would make that argument. I know competition, just mentioning that's what pops into
Competition.
That's what pops into my mind. Now, I know this happened a long time ago. I'm going to say I only know about this though because you just brought it up again, so I apologize for asking about it. Can you please explain to everyone how you ended up on the show? Sex sent me to the ER.
So I was going to film school in Arizona. It was I don't even know if it's around anymore, the show.
I'm not sure.
It was a TLC show about people like getting injured and having to go to the hospital while having sex. So I was going to film school at the time, and I'm literally broke. Like I'm talking broke, where like I'm spending $5 a week on food. Ooh. I'm working at the 99-cent store. I'm like secretly eating all the food in the back at the 99-cent store because I don't have any money for food.
Wow.
Like it's crazy. And then I hear the show. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. Like that sounds funny. Like why don't we like create a funny like a fake story to go on it? And then I create this story, but I don't have a lady to be on the show with me. So we go on Craigslist and we find aspiring actresses in Los Angeles because that's where it was shot. And then like I meet up with the lady the day of the shoot, and we're like, we got to get our story straight because the show thinks it's real.
Yeah.
They asked me for an actual doctor's note.
Shut up.
So I made this fake doctor's note going to the show, and we do it, and like it was so funny. Like it was like such a good time, like just like telling the story, because essentially the story was like I was in the wilderness and we were making love and I roll over on a bee's nest that was like on the ground, and I was like,
that was you. Yes, okay, I've seen that episode.
You have?
Yes.
I looked totally different back then. But the thing is, like, we roll over on a bee's nest, and I'm like, there's no bees in there. You don't have to worry about anything. And all of a sudden it comes like, so it's like, it's so funny shooting this and like telling this story. Because have you guys seen the movie My Girl with Macaulay Culkin?
Yes.
You know how he like dies in the end? So I'm like sitting there. I'm sitting there and we're filming it with like TLC, and I start crying like on the thing, and I like it's like obviously the fake tears. I'm just like, when this was happening, there's only one thing I could think about. It was Macaulay Culkin, My Girl. I was gonna die, and like, and then they're all like, we can't use this. Cut. And I was like, it was just so fun. I don't know. It was, and they flew you out there. I was going to film school in Arizona. They flew me out to Los Angeles. Put me in a hotel, gave me like $800, and it was just like, it was fun. And that $800 went so far. I was like, I'm rich. I can get anything I want at Walmart.
Spending $5 on food every week.
That's a good point.
Gonna work out.
Did you upgrade your food budget after that? You're like, I got to be smart about this.
I upgraded it. Like, it was funny because I used to eat it at like buffets. Yeah. And I would secretly have a Ziploc bag that I would fill up. And like there was so much crazy stuff I would do like when I was like broke just to get by. So I was working at the 99-cent store, and there was a grand opening, and they had like everybody that it's like, okay, the first 30 people get a flat screen TV that's in line, because they wanted to build like anticipation for the store opening up. And I'm working there, and then I get in line and I sleep there outside before the doors open, and I'm sleeping on the concrete with my hood on. And then they're like, all right, you want a TV? You want a TV? And they get to me, and they're like, sir, you just want a TV? And I took off my hood, like, wait, you work here? You don't get the TV. And I was like, come on, man, I slept out here.
Really use this.
I was camping out. I was trying to get that TV. But like, it's just like funny things like that. That's why it's like so cool. Just like this whole like staying grounded and everything, and getting to wrestle like places like Globe Life Field, like, because I never thought any of this was possible. And like being homeless and doing everything that I've done in the last few years, it's like, it's surreal, and I don't take any of it for granted. That's why every single night I go out there and I perform as if it's my first time and my last time in AEW. Like we just go crazy every night. So it's a really awesome energy. And the fact that AEW, like, all right, just do you.
Yeah.
Do you? Like,
Yeah,
so you can't ask for more in life.
How much do you like the travel aspect of it? Because like you come out here to Arlington, participate first pitch for the Rangers. The last collision of this stay is tomorrow, and then a week from that you're going to be in England, and I know it just keeps moving. How much do you like that travel aspect?
I love it because when I was in high school in Seattle, I would stare at the wall and be like, there's a whole world out there. I don't know how to get to it because like I have nothing, like no money, nothing, like no connections. I'm like, there's a whole world out there. And if I get a taste of it, I'm never going to stop. And that's like the thing is like every week I'm like, put me somewhere. I'll do any media. I'll do any shows you guys want. Like I'm down for it all because I never thought this was possible. So I'm like, just let's go.
Collision.
Ton of respect for that, man.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
I will tell you a story off air in just a second. Collision tomorrow in Arlington at the esports arena, aewtix.com if you want to check that out. A week from Sunday, All In on pay-per-view. That's the one in London. And then next summer, All In Texas is going to be happening at Globe Life Field. Keep your eyes out for the pre-sale and the tickets. We will be sure to share that message as well. Man, I really appreciate you jumping on. Thank you very much.
Yes, absolutely. Thanks for having me, guys.